Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What is up, everyone? It is I, Ryan Neil Wayne, with Joe King, and a very, very special guest with us. Why don't you introduce yourself? You may have seen him before on our channel, but go ahead.
Hi, I'm Esteban Dager. How y'all doing? Survivor fan, kind of new since 2021, but as soon as I first saw my first season, I binged it really quickly, unhealthily quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about tonight's episode for sure.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I remember him texting me like during his progress, so just being like 7 episodes of in like a few days. I felt sometimes.
No, I can do a whole
Impressive.
season. I can do a whole season in one day. I have done the whole season.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I did that when I had COVID, where I was
yes,
yeah,
like, all right, I have nothing else to do. I'm already going through the season already. All right,
yeah. It
yeah.
was 2021. I think I was working from home during that time, so I had plenty of time. You know,
yeah. I,
so
I I just would come home from college, and that's when I started watching. So,
that's great. Also,
uh,
we're all kind of relatively new to it. We didn't start from the beginning, huh?
no
Oh wow.
season one babies here. Ryan's the oldest
I
one.
Yeah, so I watched stray episodes here and there, and I thought it was cool, but I didn't start watching until Coach's season, so Survivor Tocantins. But
Cool.
Mhm.
my first full season was Survivor Samoa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
spoiled
so
because Netflix had a few seasons up at one point.
Hmm.
This is before I went to Paramount Plus, but Netflix had a few seasons up, and the first season I saw was David and Goliath, which is a great season, I think, to
Top
start.
tier.
You
Yeah,
know, it's kind of
yeah,
has a mix of new school and old school to it. So
yeah, and you always want to start with a newbie season. Some people like will be like, you got to watch heroes versus villains, and it's like, yeah, that's great, but you got to know the people before you watch that season. At
I
least most of
yeah.
them.
since you just brought up heroes versus villains, I think you guys might have your first guest, who is one
Mhm.
of the only or few people whose favorite Survivor player of all time is Russell Hantz. It is.
No, there's a few
They
there's a few
exist.
Russell
Really? There's some
Royals.
others. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm the only one I've ever met because I love Russell's gameplay. Survivor
Mhm.
gives you an opportunity to be able to lie, cheat, steal. Like it gives you the
Yeah.
chance to do so in a game.
Yeah. To
He's the only one, I feel like he's the only one who's really done it in a way that is, I mean, like, look, it's not acceptable in the real world, but
yeah.
in survival world, I love that he did it.
Yeah. To be fair, when it aired, WrestleMania was a huge thing. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
were like, he
yeah.
changed the game.
He did.
Everyone wanted Russell on like every season. And then once
They
Redemption
had
Island happened, they were just kind of like, okay, Russell, we can
Yeah.
Even then, they brought in his relatives on Big
yeah.
Brother on that. I think one of the shows where it's just like I think he had a reality show where he was flipping houses for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and I mean he was the first American to play Australian Survivor if I'm not mistaken. So like no, yeah. I mean like he's entertainment and like he's a
Yeah.
villain and
Yes.
like you love to hate him or but yeah.
Yeah. We, we
I know
almost
some
we
people
almost worked for him. And that
yeah.
almost
You
happened.
almost worked for him?
Yeah.
Have you told this story on your podcast
I
yet?
don't I don't know if we ever did. Did
I
We
feel
we?
like
might
this is the
have
opportunity to say it.
Yeah.
so we when it was about the time when he finished up his top 100 Survivor players, celebrating 40 seasons of Survivor. And then he was looking for other content creators. And then Joe hit me up and was like, "We should try this." And then we came up with a video of how to win Survivor.
You came up with that idea.
You agreed to it. Which, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe sending a video to Russell Hantz, who's made it to the end twice on how to win Survivor, and then our ending conclusion being having a good social game may have not been the best idea.
Yeah, hindsight 2020, terrible idea. But
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we
yes,
can
this was
technically say
2020.
that the person, his producer, reached out to us and we submitted something for him. So I mean, that's pretty
Wow.
cool. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. I'd
yeah,
love to. I'd be both scared, honored, and gawky at working for Russ. I'd be
yeah.
like, Teach
and
me everything you know.
and then we ended up doing some stuff with Johnny Fairplay. Like
Oh,
actually, we were on his
I
channel.
wish they, you know what? There's two main people I wish that Survivor 50 brought back.
Mhm.
One of them, Fair Play.
Yeah,
Second one, I wish so bad. I'm a big Penner fan. I
he was
love
so
Penner.
close too. He was so
Yeah.
He
close to being.
was.
Yeah, he was like one of the last people cut.
Ah, dude, I love Penner. He is great TV, especially for Survivor. I
Mhm.
love his relationship with Jeff. They have a
Mhm.
fun banter, but that's so cool. Yeah, let's talk about this episode. What a great episode, huh?
Yeah. So we open up with, obviously still talking about the medevac that happened in episode
Yeah.
one with Kyle. Genevieve kind of makes it about herself a little bit, where it's like she's sad about it affecting her game.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is that will happen. Like whenever
Yeah.
someone leaves the game, it's not like the
Yeah.
thing is it does affect it going forward. And it is
Mhm.
something where you see in Genevieve's story where it's like, this is the one where she's like, all right, I am going to care no matter what. And then her number one gets medevaced. And the thing is, when it's your confessional and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you're sad and stuff, but it's like you do have to move forward in the game. You can't stay
Yeah.
in the sadness. So, like, and she felt
Mhm.
bad of being like, yeah, I do have to think about those things, but that's the nature of the game. She can't just be like, well, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it hurts to say it, but when I saw him get out and people were crying, in my head, unfortunately, I see Survivor as just a game. I know people like to
Mhm.
separate it or don't, they have a trouble separating it, but I think, hey, that's one less person I have to try to get out eventually, And I know it's
Yeah.
sad because Kyle is definitely a favorite. He's great. He's brilliant. He's really smart. Athletic as well. He was a huge force for his tribe, but if I was a part of his tribe, I put myself in their feet. I was thinking is, well, one less person I have to get out, and it's just like Sandra's biggest strategy is as long as it's not me, it's
Mhm.
not me. They didn't get injured, Kyle got injured, and so it sucks. RIP to his Survivor 50 life, but and it was really sad. I saw him tweet
Yeah.
or something like that. He posted like tonight I watched Survivor as a fan again. And I'm like, that sucks. You were literally in the game, now you're not. But
Yeah.
he became a millionaire just like within the past 3 years. So
Yeah. If
he's
anyone
gonna be
truthfully
okay.
could get medevaced, it should be a winner because they've already won. And it's like you never want
Exactly.
to see someone get medevaced. Obviously, you'd
Not
rather
at
see
all.
the game play out.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
like there's other people who it would have really been like devastating if they had been taken out who haven't won the game yet.
I think I'm a villain,
I
guys.
think, yes,
Don't
you
worry.
are. But
Because the way I'm thinking is, hey, if I have to get someone out either strategically, socially, mentally, or physically, I'm gonna do it. One of my
uh-huh.
favorite moments was when Sandra was eating the sugar that one season to
Uh-huh.
like cause drama and strife and stuff like that, and making someone's mental game like mess up because they started to go a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think about it. If someone
Yeah.
goes out, it's good for me, because I'm a villain. If I'm on this show, I'm a
You got
villain.
to embrace it. I think villains are so much fun and they need to bring them
Yes.
back. But
no,
yeah.
hashtag anti-heroes.
No.
Yeah, there it is.
So we then get to the next part here where Q tells Rizgod about the lost vote. And I was telling Ryan the last episode, I think Q is going to try to loop Rizgod in and tell him about the votes in an effort to get him to vote with them.
Interesting.
And I mean, it makes sense because he was on the cusp of it already because he had kind of an in with Colby because they broed and they had that nice moment last episode.
Yeah.
And then
I don't
it's
think
like,
that's
all
gonna
right,
last very long, though. I think he's gonna
No.
get annoyed by him again soon.
Yeah.
all right, I will say this happens a little later in the episode, but they did bring up, the work ethic of Rizzo again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And well, they also mentioned Angelina, and yes, Angelina is on this season. And I
Has she had a
believe
confessional yet?
She had it in the premiere, got goose egged in this episode.
There were quite a few goose eggs this episode.
I think
I'm not
there
lie.
were 5 women who got
there
goose egged.
there is 5.
Wow.
Not a great look.
We'll save that for the end. But yes,
Yeah.
but like seeing how there was a core 5, now core 4, and 2 of those 4 don't have a vote. It's like, well, That means it's a two, like it's five
Mhm.
available votes. So they have to get someone in. I don't think they bring in Aubrey. And then Angelina doesn't seem like she has too many like ties to anyone here.
Mhm.
Maybe she does. We just don't know about it because we haven't seen it. Uh, so it's like, all right, we bring in Rizzo. And yeah, I think that was kind of like the natural way of things kind of going. Like it does seem, and we even see later on that Aubrey and Angelina seem on the chopping block
Mhm.
come next tribal. Well, what would have been next tribal council, seeing how we got a tribe swap coming
Right.
next episode and they
Yeah, we saw
announced
in the
it.
preview, right? That's
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I think there's a good chance we get two tribe swaps before we hit the merge. That's
Wow.
honestly what I think could happen. Because when you see what happened this early in an all-star season, I feel like most of the time it means that they're planning on doing one, like
Yeah.
a tribal or two before the merge.
Right. Which does mess up
Yeah.
my predictions because I love
Mhm.
predicting who I think is going to go out.
Mhm.
And this specific episode, I was right about which team was going to lose. Unfortunately, I was right in the essence of it was the reward challenge that I was right, but not the immunity challenge. I was if I flipped them, I would have gotten my way. I think uh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it does happen that way. It's hard to predict it because, like, even going to this season, like Joe and I, we painstakingly, I don't know how it was on his, but I was, going through everything that I could to try and think of like what might it be for our very competitive draft that we do,
Mhm.
and everything. And also, it's just like we love to like I've always kind of like seen it as like who is the winner of the survivor, kind of like a who done it, like
yeah,
who
Mhm.
is the one out of all these that who's the killer, who's the one that wins the $1 million
right.
Mhm.
at the end. I don't think it's going to be Christian for this scene that we saw right after this very emotional
Yeah.
moment, and it's the one where he shat his pants.
And they blurred it, and just everyone was literally shitting on him about it.
The editor did not need to do that at all. There's so many conversations that happened in an episode. There was no reason for them to do that. Poor man. I swear.
I hope that they talked to Christian and asked him if he's okay to release that, because it would suck for that to go on national
I
TV
don't
and be like,
look.
what?
Look, when you sign the contract, I'm pretty sure you sign like whatever happens is
Yeah,
viable to air. So I don't think he had a choice.
yeah,
Um,
Also,
but by the way, I
he
don't
played
think
it up
just
too. He
yeah.
I don't
played
know.
it up. He knew it
Yeah,
was
he played it
coming.
up too. He had fun. He's like, "You guys don't want to see this," as he was walking away. I promise you, you don't want to see this. But I'm curious to know who like to you guys, who you want to win. Because for me, the top two I have of who I hope will win, and I think there is a chance that they could be between Suri and Christian. Those are
Mhm.
my top two. I think Suri is always known as Mount Rushmore, one of the Mount Rushmore heads, as one of the greatest Survivor players to ever not win.
Mhm.
And I hope she finally gets to they stop saying that. Just one of the great Survivor players. Period. I think she deserves it,
Yeah.
and Christian as well. I just love Christian's gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the same boat with Suri. I want her to either win or somehow they find a new way for her to get screwed out of winning this game, because that's like been
Oh
her
yeah,
MO every season.
that's right.
Yes.
So I think those are the only two routes that I would really be happy with Suri in this game. Krishna, I do like, but I would probably say Devins. I really would
Yeah,
love to see Rick Devins win, because
yeah,
I just love so much what he did, even in this episode and in Edge of
yeah.
Extinction.
He
I
deserved the last season he played for sure.
Yeah, I've played a very
Agreed.
Rick Devens game also, so like I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like see myself in him.
Connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is tough because there's a lot of people I do enjoy here. Coach is a big one. I started with Token Jeans. I also did play a coach game once, which it's not great. It was traumatic, but I got over it eventually. But he is my winner pick for the season, so I chose him. And then it's tough because I do like so many people from here. even though she didn't get a single confessional this episode, I still was like, Stephanie is one of my all-time favorites. She
Yeah.
is,
And I stole her from him in the draft.
Really?
and I straight up was like, I don't like his attitude towards this. I don't like his cheeky little smile that
Yeah.
he's doing when he did it, because he has done nothing but shit on her for 6
No, no,
years.
no. I think she's one of the best
Wow.
players ever.
Uh,
You know,
well, I think she's a great
you need to
challenge
work on your
player. I think
lying if you want to be a villain, Joe.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's. I just think I do question her social game sometimes.
Yeah.
And I also saw on Traders,
Mhm.
and on Traders, I don't think that was her best play. But you know what? She was a good
Traders is
faithful.
Yeah.
Traders is tough
Yeah.
to in the sense of the faithfuls to kind of like get a good gauge of them, because
Well, I
usually
think she was one of the best faithfuls.
Yeah.
She played kind of like a cop.
yeah,
Yeah. Did either of you also see that show Stake in the Grass?
No,
I
wasn't
do
it?
not.
So she was on it, and typically in that show, there's like one person who's a traitor who's trying to like ruin everything for the other, and everyone has to figure out who it is by the end of the episode. She was so bad that they told us from right away that she's the traitor because it was so obvious. Whereas every
Wow.
other episode they tried to like hide it. She was so bad they literally had to like let us know that she was the traitor.
It sounds like
right
the
away.
mole. The concept of that game sounds a little bit like the mole.
It's like the mole, but what one episode is the whole thing.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting choice, Ryan. Okay.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
but there's a lot of people on this season that I was really excited for.
yeah,
Christian
we're in
definitely
for a
being
good one. We're definitely in for a
Yeah.
great season. A lot of great characters. Just overall, I've already been like, wow, this is the best New Era season by far because we're bringing back so many of these people who are legends and will get into
Episode
fights.
1, when every single tribe got fired. That's all you need to know about episode 1. I was like,
Yeah.
and it blows my mind how many people in even the New Era Survivor haven't done that trick.
Yeah.
Like, what was his name? Ty? He did that like seasons ago with the
Mhm.
glasses, right? I'm
Yeah.
surprised no one's ever done that again, or like, we've had other players in the past do it without Flint. So
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that New Era we haven't seen that. And then here comes Christian again.
Yeah,
Good.
people nowadays are just expecting, we'll win a challenge and get Flint and then do it.
Yeah.
And it's
It's like
like
if you have glasses, might as well try. I know, like,
yeah.
well, I mean, the way Christian did it, he needed 2 glasses and he needed the right type of glasses for it.
Right.
You seeing
Yeah.
how, like, like because he was like, oh, it's like a cup, so it doesn't, the light's not going to go through it as it's like a bowl, so it's not going
Yeah.
to. So you need the
Yeah.
right type of glasses to do it in order to get it done. There's also the old-fashioned way of just rubbing the sticks together.
Well,
But that one is
Yeah.
definitely a lot trickier.
the way Ty did it was it didn't matter what kind of glasses he had. He used the glasses, got a drop of water, and then extensified the magnify. Well, I'm not a scientist,
Mhm.
but it seemed like he explained it very well. So I'm just curious. I'm just surprised no one in the 40s have prepared a way of doing it without Flint.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised, and
Yeah.
that's why it was so cool to see that episode 1. It's like this is the Survivor we miss,
Yeah.
and these are the players that we love because they're professionals,
Yeah, exactly. So and professionals in Survivor also love to get into fights as we get into our next scene when everyone's coming in. We get Camille having a very sad moment of Kyle going, and then Aussie and Coach are fighting almost like as this. I was like baffled. I was like, wow, this is the moment for for them to like start going at it publicly.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think we
Ozzy's
need
face was priceless. His eyebrows lifted so high. He rolled his eyes. It was just priceless when Coach just started to make it about himself, and we were just having this wonderful moment about Kyle and how sad it was and all that. So, Coach is gonna be Coach, and that's why personally, I know Ryan, you want him to win, but I get it. I think he's gonna be on this season very long. I don't know if he'll win, but I have a feeling, like I can feel in my gut, he's not going away anytime soon. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, they talked about how well connected he and Jonathor had like a whole, like Jonathan was just like saying like Jonathor is his nickname. He is aware of it too. But like how they were like, it's like my number one is coach, and like, coach is pretty tight with everyone too. So like they made sure to let us know about that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the tribe swaps and everything, we'll find out what that means.
Yeah.
But it's like coach is someone where it did bother him about the pride, because it's like, I get, like he wanted to set the record straight, because like when it comes to a tribe swap and whatever, he didn't want to go into it being like,
Yeah.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, like now they think, oh, coach is just like being sneaky and manipulative and a traitor and goes back on
Yeah.
his word. It was like, no, I am still honorable. I still do this. I didn't make that deal because I knew I had to, get shit done for my team so we could have fire.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a smart play to do it. I get why he did it. I think it's funny he's using the term like, I want to play with honor as much as possible, because that's the key
Mhm.
phrase, as much as possible, which means if he needs to, in his eyes, play sneakily and deceitfully, he's going to,
Mhm.
So
Well,
I get what he's doing.
and I think this is a theme that plays out later on with Joe of not Joe King. He has
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
honor.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
With Joe,
Joe from
Joe.
48 was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, because like he was someone where he seemed very, very direct, and he's like, like people were like joking around him, being like, "Oh, like we have to play around him. He doesn't want anyone to lie or do anything like that."
Evans.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
Heaven forbid. But the thing is, it's like, and that's the kind of morality you have to go into like these games with. It's like, listen, you do have to vote someone out.
Right.
You do have to sometimes lie and stuff, but it's like, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If Are you doing it to, like, like there are some games where I'm like, I justify what I do not just for me but for my alliance.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, maybe I don't want to take out this one person, but if it helps protect my ally, that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
like, if maybe it's like, yeah, I have to like betray someone, but if it's to protect my alliance, it sucks, but it must be done, you
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
and
Well,
these
I wonder
games
if Joe is capable of that.
it's sink or swim for him. I think
Yeah.
he definitely did dodge a bullet a little bit this episode, but like there
Yeah.
was a part of me that was heavily thinking, is he actually getting voted out? Because he's being painted in a very negative light right now.
Yeah.
I thought I assumed it was going to be Joe, to be
Me
honest.
too.
I think it also is like, in my opinion, killed any winning chance for Joe. I don't think they would have painted him this way and like have this much negativity towards him from like the likable people who the audience really cares about, painting him in this way that is kind of like not really what the audience is going to vibe with. I think they would have tried to maybe save him a little bit more.
Yeah. He was
So
very antagonistic this episode, approaching
yeah,
Spana,
I
talking
agree.
to Devins. I
Yeah.
completely agree. I think, it reminds me of when Colby first, like one of his first seasons back, he
Mhm.
literally said himself, like, this new Survivor, we didn't play it this way. Because early Survivor, it was pretty righteous, it
Mhm.
was pretty like, let's make it to the end, who we can make it to the end. And that's why he lost
Mhm.
for the first season, Colby did. But the way that Joe is playing does remind me of the early Colby days, and even Colby
Mhm.
was like, "I can't play that way anymore." Even
Yeah.
I think he even discussed it this episode how it seemed like he was down for it. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna sneak in someone's bag," which was so funny to
Yeah.
hear Colby being one of the people justifying it. And
Yeah.
I think Joe is surprisingly not caught up with it, because here's the thing,
Yeah.
like that might have worked for new era Survivor, his righteous play and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
now they have some of the older 30s and 20s and before that players who are ready to cheat, lie, steal, like all that stuff,
Yeah.
manipulate. And so I think Joe isn't really adapting to the players he's currently with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also played on one of the most straightforward, loyal cast ever,
Yeah.
and he does have a little bit of, like, and he mentioned this first episode, he felt a little bit like played by like a fool, and because he was so oblivious to the whole Kyle Camilla thing. And then, like I feel like like and you saw that in the Shaheen vote out where he was totally manipulated
Yeah.
about it. And so like it's that perception of himself, and he is a very like prideful dude. And I don't say that in
Mhm.
like, oh, he cares about his pride and ego and stuff like that, but like he's someone where, like he holds himself to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we see that, especially when it comes to morals and stuff. So like now he's balancing all this different stuff in this head while trying to, like play the game as well
Mhm.
with some people that are very much known for being like he's on one crazy tribe.
Yeah.
Like the fact
Yes.
that him and Devins, it's like, yes, I kind of, you can kind of see that coming. A character like Devins, who's known for being wild, crazy, and like doing whatever, and then Joe, who is very straightforward.
Yeah.
They were going to butt heads at some point here
Absolutely.
in this season.
100%. It was inevitable. And like it's even Christian, like he wants to like play the game and like he's willing to make moves. If you have an ally who is not willing to make moves and you are someone who wants to make moves, I mean, like it's just not going to work. It's
Dude,
water and oil.
at this point, Survivor players have to realize with the internet, TikTok, social media, how fast people post things and they react to things. I mean, you want to make sure that if you don't win, you at least were memorable, and I mean like the amount of times I've seen around the internet, I'm pissed. Like you just
Yeah.
you got to give us a show. It has become, and you know what? Christian knows that because I saw a video pre-season 50 where we all knew who was the cast, where he perfectly lined up the types. He's like, there's 5 challenge beasts. There's five new members. There's the charismatic ones, and then he said there's the storytellers, the ones that
Mhm.
help guide you. And he was, of course, that was one of him. He's really good at narrating what's going on in a very intelligent way,
Mhm.
and that's TV. At the end of the day, Survivor 50 has to be one of the biggest TV things ever. It can't be a snooze fest. And I
Mhm.
think these players know that. And I think that's why also, I'm not gonna lie, the people they know are characters, they're not gonna kick him out early. I don't
Mhm.
think they will. I think they know that they have to, there's a responsibility in their heads to make this one of the most entertaining seasons ever. So that's why I think Coach is
Yeah.
going to last a long time. I think other players like we can't get rid of Coach right now. America will be upset because
Yeah.
he's really. I mean, like just for example, like traders this past season. Sorry about to talk about another show. They got rid of some of the most entertaining people really early on, and
Yeah.
everyone kept
Yeah.
going. This is going to be boring, and so Survivor 50, these are pros. They know the game. I think they're going to make sure that this is one of the most entertaining for us. Because on top of that, if they stand out, there's a career and future for them.
Oh,
You
100%.
know?
Yeah.
You'd rather if you play with the legends and you get to now be in that legend sphere and you get to go make deep runs with them. I mean,
Yep.
that does catapult you in like the survivor lexicon, the survivor
Yep.
sphere. You can be brought back for future seasons because you're like, oh, it's tied to this person. Well, that what happens now if they're playing without them or with them again. There's all those dynamics that can now happen.
No one
There
likes
is
when
that.
you are responsible for kicking someone out. That's a
No.
favorite.
Yeah.
There is, well, it's also like, because I know I'm wearing the Survivor Vanquish shirt. I've played with reality stars in my very first org. It was a hero or not heroes versus fans versus favorites one, and my thing was, all right, the favorites are targeting me. Okay, I do want to get rid of all the favorites because I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
want. Like I want the screen time. I want to do that. And so you see me taking out some very entertaining people. And then also, so like Kristen hates me for doing it too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like,
It also made you become a villain for Heroes versus Villains in a way. I feel like that was
no, what
awesome.
made me a
I
villain
know the
was
screen time thing was a thing, but I do think you taking out the villains or the previous players helped with that.
after a season where all the fans were completely obliterated. Well, not completely. A fan did one, but so many of them did not make merge. And
Mhm.
then there was a couple seasons later, I think the one that Martin Anthony played, where his season there were no fans left after final eight. I was a visionary. I knew what had to be done.
Yeah. No, look. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe and I played a game one time. I forgot. I think it was a traders inspired game.
Mhm.
Who ran that? What was his name?
Michael O'Rear.
Yes, O'Rear.
Yeah.
So I played that. I've never played that version before, nor did I watch traders before that. So I didn't really fully understand the style for that. They had a special guest who I believe was on traders, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember? There was a special guest that was, definitely someone that was well known, and I was responsible for getting him out first
Mhm.
because I was like, oh, maybe he was recruited, and it was me who kind of led
Oh,
that.
I think that was Alex Brizzard from the Circle. I think that's who that might
Yeah,
have
I think
been.
it was
Yeah.
that. So he didn't even play a full round. I
Yeah.
got him out as soon as he was introduced,
Yeah.
and then who got out next? Me.
Yeah.
You can't take out some of you have to let the favorites ride a little bit and then
Yeah.
find the right time to get them out. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think this season
All of
knows that.
them to go.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want all of them to go. We have to have some
Yeah,
TV,
you got to
you know?
sprinkle. I do think there's going to be probably some really popular legends who do go out pre-merge, because that's just the nature of the game. But I
Yeah.
do think people like Coach and Suri have a bit of immunity, even
Yes.
even if it makes sense for people to take them out. I think they're
Yeah.
going to not want to be taken out super early.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, it's like I think Suri is an interesting case. And I mean, like, because she is someone where everyone wants to work. And you saw, I feel like Jenna going home first. That was a message to everyone. It's like
Yes.
Mhm.
you fuck with Mama Suri,
Yeah.
your ass
Yeah,
is grass.
I called
It's
it
like
as soon as Jenna said Suri, I was like, Jenna's out.
yeah,
Suri does not.
yeah,
Suri's like a mob wife. She is a mob boss. She
yeah,
will take someone out as soon as her name is. It's just like Sandra. You
yeah,
know. I called it as soon as Jenna said. I was like, Jenna messed up. Jenna
yeah.
I went
just
wide eyed and I'm like, uh
yeah.
oh,
I mean,
You
everyone
know.
wants to play the game with Suri. Like,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of Survivor fans who were super fans before they sign up for the show who are like, well, I want to spend more time with Suri. I don't want to lose that time on day three, you know?
I want to take this moment real quick to give Ozzy his flowers. I
Mhm,
think this is his best and smartest he's ever played. Why?
mhm,
Because he knows his weakness, that he's not smart, that he's not a strategist. He knows that. And the
mhm,
smartest thing he's doing is deciding to team up with someone who is. He is listening. There's I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but there was a released clip from episode 1 that was not edited. You saw it?
mhm.
Um
yeah,
and it shows Sari going up to like it was just Sari and Ozzy, and she was like, "We can't keep hanging out like this, like one on one as often. You need to get good with Christian." And
Yeah,
Ozzy's like, "Yes, ma'am." And they immediately went to go talk to Christian. It's just she's. I think Ozzy is doing the best he's ever done on this show. I
yeah,
really
I
do.
agree.
I
Because
agree. Yeah,
that's his best strategy is finding someone who is good with strategy, noticing who they are, and noticing that he is not that person, and that's okay.
yeah,
That is so much improvement. I love this version of Ozzy, and even
yeah.
giving her. I think it's crazy that she's played so many times. This is her first time ever having her own advantage.
Yeah. Well,
That blows
Yeah,
my mind.
yeah, I mean, so her first three attempts, I mean, Heroes versus Villains, she went out super early. The other
Yeah,
two were like really just like here's an idol that exists in the world and it's hard to get. Game Changers, yeah, it's definitely like it was definitely potential for advantages. So that's like the one where maybe something would have fallen into her lap. But yeah, even this, I mean, she didn't even have to find it. It's like
no,
she's just really close to Ozzy and he's like, here you
yeah.
that
go.
just shows how good her social game is. That
Yeah.
she's been able to get through without an advantage before, and now she got one because Ozzy trusts her so much and is
Mhm.
relying on her.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
that
Exactly.
is a way to get, someone to be tight with you because like it did seem like it was like, locked, but like, Ozzy's name has been thrown around and Suri, has been telling Ozzy about that too, where it's like, well, if you have a blocked vote, then you can't use your extra vote because you need a vote in order to use it.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I've seen it be played before. Or if
Yeah.
it's like shot in the dark is also something that's still in play. They
Mhm.
haven't mentioned it, but I
Not
see the
once.
little
Yeah.
bag with scrolls. So it's like,
It is a thing.
Still,
I've heard like something about it as well that it exists in this game. So we'll see if that ever happens. I mean,
I don't know if well, it makes sense in some instances to play your shot in the dark. However, we'll see. It's very situational, obviously, and we don't live in a. I don't know because I do feel like there was something during tribal council where Savannah knew she was going home,
yeah,
and then she was giving that emotional, like almost like plea of like being herself and stuff because she knew she was so like this was like her last attempt to like really be vulnerable and in front of people, but you know
I'm sorry, but when
uh
you announced to everyone that you were the 49 winner, I don't think there is ever
yeah,
going to be sympathy. She is freshly a millionaire.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
would
yes.
anyone
She
like?
she was screwed. I mean, I heard that she found out that
Yeah,
people already knew, so she was just like, well, I guess I gotta like come forward, and if you do that, I mean, yeah, her game was screwed the second she was
mm.
dead on arrival. And now that
Yeah,
means Dee's the last winner standing.
Oh yeah, because
So
Kyle's out.
which
That's right.
we kind of thought would happen, but I didn't quite think we would. This is not the
Not
way
this
we
way.
thought we would get there.
yeah,
Yeah. Now
yeah,
with Kyle, and I mean, like, here's the thing. You know, what's funny. At the reality TV bar that I go to do the watch parties for these, they have up all the headshots, if you will, and you're allowed to like try to guess who you think will be out on this episode. I put Kyle. I was right in a way, you know.
yeah,
But it's surprising that D is it. You know, I'm interested in. You know what I really want? Okay, the only reason I want D to stick around is to see if her and Ozzy, if they do that pole challenge. You know that pole challenge that Ozzy has the record for, because D was
Yeah.
killing it when she did it too. So that'd be interesting to see both of them go at it on that. But that's the only
yeah.
reason. Otherwise, D
I
can
thought
go
you were
home.
gonna say I want to see Dean and Ozzy hook up.
Oh, that's
I'll be
not new
fair, that's
Survivor
what I
era
was
at all.
thinking you were going to.
No, 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 no. That is not new
Listen,
Survivor era. That's like,
Ozzy had a OnlyFans.
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, I heard about that.
D has
He
been
is
with a lot of
Well,
people in
didn't
the
he hook up on camera with what was her name? Yeah, he had the thing with not Parvati. What was her
no
name?
Amanda.
Amanda.
Amanda on
Amanda was
camera.
like
Yeah.
his big showmance.
Yeah,
Dee had a Katniss Peta kind of thing with Austin from her
that's right.
season,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
except they didn't end up together. Instead,
No.
she and Wendell kind of had a thing.
yeah.
Doesn't
But
he have a thing with one of the like a Probst? The what's his
the
name?
what?
Austin. He's I think he's dating a Probst. Like
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if
yeah.
you ever.
He's dating Jeff Probst's like niece or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
Oh,
is funny.
Yeah. He's dating
all right,
Probst.
but
But no, I
Austin,
wasn't. I wasn't talking about showmance. I don't see any showmances happening this season.
No, I
Not
don't think
not this
so.
no.
season. I think
A
everyone
lot of
wants
them
it
are
back.
married or engaged or have someone. So like,
It
yeah,
happens with a lot of these returning player seasons nowadays,
Yep.
especially when they are bringing back a lot of people who have been played like years ago. So
Yeah. You know whose game I'm actually really disappointed in this season?
who's
Aubrey.
Aubrey? Yeah, she's
Episode one
this
was weird.
is this is something we definitely need to talk about because first things first, over half the tribe had a whole operation, a whole system in place just to check her bag to
That's
make
it.
sure she didn't have an idol, which as soon as that happened, the thought occurred to me, what if they give Aubrey the idol after the fact? And lo and
yeah,
behold, she gets it.
yeah,
But like, it's so crazy because like she's all I don't know if it's just like that she hasn't been edited well so far because like the first thing we get from her this episode is kind of her being like, yeah, I'm just kind of like on a tribe with a bunch of characters and
She also
stuff.
seems
I
to be
don't
almost breaking down again. You know.
yeah.
a little bit.
She was pretty emotional. She also basically is the reason her tribe lost that reward challenge. By the way, with her whiffing and having to redo, that's a lot of time. That is a lot of
A
time.
lot of time.
Yes. She's also well, all right. Also, because I love Survivor 46, and
The
obviously she was
Mariah.
compared to Mo.
Uh,
I love the fact that Mo was able to hit it, but Aubrey,
Yeah.
who she was compared to, was not able to do it the first time. There was some weird kind of like symmetry there, or
Yeah.
like
yeah.
some kind of like irony.
Yeah, and her and Q being on the same tribe, and Q didn't like her because she
Yeah.
was a lot like
You voted someone
Aubrey.
out last season just because they reminded him of Aubrey, and that was a favorite player.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting. Aubrey, I've always loved her gameplay in the past. And she's done a lot of seasons. This one is interesting. Genevieve went up to her and was like, I think we can be dangerous together. And the edit is one thing, but one thing is for sure. Aubrey has not played a social game yet.
Oh yeah.
Like who are her allies this season? Clearly
She,
no one,
no
because the
one.
entire
Maybe
tribe.
Angelina.
But we don't know how Angelina is.
I don't see Angelina being much of a social player in general, but
Yeah.
like that first conversation with Genevieve where she was like sussing her out, but like in a weird, like Godfather kind of way. Like I don't know what that was. It was
Yeah.
I think because here's the thing, Genevieve is a good player. I was never like a huge Genevieve stan, but she is a good player, and I
Oh,
think
I
she's
was a big
powerful.
Genevieve fan.
I'm sure you were,
Yeah.
and I believe she's powerful enough to be like, huh, Aubrey doesn't want to work with me. All right, bye. Like
Mhm.
I think she's capable of doing what Suri did with Jenna and twisting it and making Aubrey be the first one out. And here's
Yeah.
the thing: the question is, will Aubrey know, and will she play the idol that was given to her?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah. She's got this IO now. I will let you know, Ryan and I, when we were doing like some of her stuff, we kind of like looked at Kaushi, and Aubrey has like 88% chance of winning the season according to Kaushi.
Really?
It's an
Yeah.
insane, and it's still there. Like it's gone up every episode.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Couchy is weird how they do it because it's a way that you can bet, but it's not technically betting. It's
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah,
So
I
the thing is,
technically they could like have a lot of people putting things on Aubrey and then randomly like trying to go in on someone later on in the season instead, because then that could be a higher payout.
well,
So
also these bets are live,
yeah,
as well as because there's no like cutoff point. Once the game starts, the game starts. Another thing too, it's like if a lot of people are like seeing, oh, Aubrey's in first place, a lot of people are betting on Aubrey. Well, I should probably do the same, right? I don't want to just lose money. So sometimes it's just like a snowball effect where more people see Aubrey's name up there and they're like, oh, so someone's got the right idea here.
yeah, but I agree.
Actually,
She is not being edited very well as a winner. Like
No,
she is getting a pretty bad edit
yeah.
from these first two episodes.
And I
Like the
think the Christian being kind of her only ally by giving her that, I think it's more of a sympathy thing of like, you're kind of like me. You're kind of like a nerd, you're kind of like a more social gameplay or like more intelligent, strategy based. So I think Christian is playing that boomerang because Christian's the one who gave it to her, right?
yeah,
yeah.
He gave her that because I think he sees him playing with her, but I don't think he knows her current game.
yeah.
I think if he saw what we saw, he wouldn't have given it to her. But now
Well, I
he's got
mean,
her as an
it's a
ally.
win-win. Well, the thing is, it's a win-win for him.
Yeah.
Because either A, he has a buddy, he has a new nerd and whatever that he can pull in with Emily and Devin,
Yeah.
or she gets voted out and he gets an idol. So it's
Yeah.
like the only time that would backfire on him is if Aubrey knows that Christian gave it to him, and then Aubrey realizes that it's a boomerang idol and then is like, wait, so did you get this to me just so I can be voted out?
Right.
That's the thing. And this is something we might see as like more information will be shared now that tribes will be swapped
Yeah.
about the whole thing about the boomerang idol. And fun fact, one of them was not found and it's on the Teal tribe, which I believe if I'm memorizing buffs correctly, Aubrey is going to be on that tribe.
Mhm.
I know
So
Joe
she
is for
could
sure.
indeed Joe is, and I believe Aubrey had a
I
teal
think
buff.
so
I
too.
saw it like
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
right before we started this.
Yeah, but hey, that tribe swap could change everything for Aubrey. You know,
It
who
really could.
knows?
Yes.
Like, she could now actually get people who she wants to work with
True.
because, yeah,
True.
sometimes like there's just a group of people that end up clicking, and you're just not in that group.
No.
Like, you can
Yeah.
try, but sometimes it's just like it's just not. It just doesn't
Genevieve really
mesh.
tried though. I feel like
Yeah,
Genevieve had like,
but
and I get that Genevieve is hard to trust, but here's the thing. Hey, I know you're gonna slit my throat as soon as you can, and I would do the same for you.
Mhm.
Let's just ride it out, and eventually, when it's time, we agree to
Yeah.
part ways.
I do think that Genevieve came at it with like you're a dangerous player and then like trying to say like we can be a dangerous duo, but for me, if I was playing and someone on day 1 or 2 came to me and said you're a dangerous player, let's work together, I would be scared because I don't want that distinction
As a
that early,
target.
that
Yeah,
early. Um
Yeah, that
and
is fair.
so
for
I
sure.
do think that there's definitely, but yet again, I think editing wise, like they tried to make it seem like Aubrey was the one who was kind of on the outs there or like
Yeah.
wrong. But if you
Yes.
really look at that
Editing
scene,
is very important.
if you look at that scene, they come in kind of halfway through that conversation, but they
Yeah.
make it seem like this is how the conversation played out.
That's who I guess was gonna be voted out tonight.
Mhm.
And if the reward challenge was actually the immunity challenge, I think it would have gone home that way. I think
Mhm.
Audrey would have gone home.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. So you're right. This and it's just like Aubrey said in her confessional, this game changes the drop of the dime. And
Mhm.
so, like you said, like the fact that her win rate keeps going up and up and up every episode, I think it's very possible with the tribe swap that her game is going to completely change. You
It could
know,
help. I
Oh,
mean, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like Savannah was despite everything, like one of the things she said was like, I haven't found my people yet. I need to find my people. Now, granted, I don't know how well she was doing socially and stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
It did seem like she had some ties, but not like she wasn't part of the group, part of the group. It's
Yeah,
mostly because she didn't share what happened with her advantage.
yeah.
I feel like if you told that to Christian or Devins and stuff, you might have an in or Joe,
yeah.
but like you didn't. And then people are like, like people aren't like able to trust you because it's like, well, you're not sharing information when we're like 90% sure you have something.
Mhm.
So, you know, people aren't going to trust you. And then part of the reason she was eliminated, and like, good God, they were like really pushing for like Joe at some point, and then even Ozzy, like that tribe going between like those two, and I'm like, is Savannah about to slide by because of these two? Like,
Seemed
what?
like
Yeah.
it.
The editing definitely was trying to let us know that it was Joe going home, but they pulled the rug out from under us.
Yes.
But also, if you really look at Savannah's 49 game, she was not good socially. She was really good in challenges, and she had Rizzo with
She was
his
an aggressive
idol,
player.
and
That's her
she had,
thing.
and
She
yeah,
was.
she had Rizzo with his idol, who because of her winning challenges and him with the idol, it made them feel like they were untouchable,
Unstoppable, yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, like we kind of then see like, oh, now she went into this with a reputation of being a winner and go see how you do. And a lot of times winners will end up falling on their face because, now that they have to compare themselves to being that winner, it's a tough mantle to like
I
overcome.
I will say I think Rizzo and Savannah have the hardest job
Mm-hmm.
because they
Absolutely.
just came home. They never saw the edit, right? I don't think they
Mm-hmm.
ever saw the edit.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
They
they
went home.
couldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they went home a week. They went back a week later, and on top of that, they're so used to the 20 something people that they knew for all those days and
Mm-hmm.
how to play them and winning
Yeah.
practically. I mean, I know Riz God didn't really win, but like he
He
made top
outmaneuvered.
four.
He
Oh
outmaneuvered them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
to readjust to starting all over again in such a small amount of time, that's hard. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's very hard mentally to figure out how to because I think Savannah was comfortable
Yeah.
before. At the very end of her game, she was comfortable. Whereas
Yeah.
the beginning, she needed to lock back into that uncomfortable, everyone is suspicious, need to make ties. And I think
Yeah.
that's a very hard I commend both of them for coming back because I think they have the hardest job because they're still I think everything is still so fresh from the last season for them. So we'll see how
100%.
long Riz lasts in this
Yeah.
one.
I think Riz at least has game. Like he has a better like strategic mind. He used to play orgs. I don't know if you
Yeah.
knew this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's a lot more locked in on like how to maneuver. Whereas Savannah, like I said, was
Aggressive
really good,
play.
really good in challenges. Kind of was like, here I got my people, let's just do it. And yeah, so I do have a little more faith in Riz God. I mean, we've literally seen Colby day one hating him, day two being like, you know what, he's not too bad.
Well, the thing is, it's like, and I know the work ethic was brought up twice.
Mhm.
This is another thing with tribe chemistry. Tribe chemistry plays such a huge thing. Now, like, he's also on a tribe where you have a lot of people, some old school players, but you also have some workhorses. You got Colby, obviously.
Mhm,
You also got Q and Stephanie, who are very like hands-on, let's get stuff done.
mhm.
So like obvious, and those are the ones we're hearing. I was like, yeah, Rizzo seems a little lazy because because in and he even said it was like, listen, I'm here for the gameplay and strategy. I'm not just here to go camping. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
granted, that's part of Survivor is the doing the elements and stuff, but that's just like that's not what I'm here for. I'm
And he
here for
literally
the
just
games.
finished. He literally just did 20 something days of camping a week before too. So I could see why he'd be like
Exactly.
tired
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. When also when you're in like that end game mindset, you're in that going in like on day ones and day twos.
Yeah.
That's what kind of screwed over Russell, for instance, in season 20, is that
Yeah.
he was so like already like going hard. Like he was playing day 40 when
Yeah.
Heroes vs. Villains started, essentially.
Like literally day 40. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're all in that kind of mindsets, like, yeah, you're not really interested in like having to start all over and
Yeah,
having to
no.
do all the camp stuff again. Whereas if you have
He,
a big break, you're a little more like, oh yeah, let's do this and have like that nostalgic look back.
Mhm.
For Rizgod, it's not like that. It's like he's like, oh, that was like the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
I will say he has a bit of an advantage being an orger in playing back-to-back seasons because it's like like Esteban, there are some people who do like always have like a org lined up. Some people double dip.
Yeah.
No, I actually one of my closest allies in one game, she said there was one time when she had nothing going on, she was doing 8 orgs at once. And it's just like
Wow.
no, no.
I mean, yeah.
So like some people, especially orgers, it is a little easier for them to reset a little bit.
Mhm.
The only thing that Rizzo, like mindset, he was like, damn, I wish my idol that I never needed throughout the game would have transferred over to season 50. That's the only thing
Yeah.
he was thinking about going into season 50. He was like, fuck, what about my idol?
Yeah, exactly. I want to make sure we get to also a great scene though with Coach and him out with Jonathan, and they're fishing. Coach is trying,
What a drama queen.
Mike's like he's trying to prove himself with Jonathan, and yeah, he gets a cramp out in the water. It has to get the life the people who are out there with them to basically bring him back.
Annoying, man. Coach is pure television. He just
Yeah.
is. Like we need him. We need him on Survivor 50.
Yeah.
Is he my favorite? No. Do I love him? Yes. Do I want to keep seeing him? Yes. Do I want him to win? No. But I want him to go far because he's gonna keep giving us things like that. First episode too. I just love how I know you want to talk about Coach, but you mentioned Mike.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, I am loving Mike so
Yeah.
much. First episode, he was rage baiting Coach, and it was so funny. And also, Mike White, new challenge beast.
He's a gilf now.
Yeah, he
Crazy.
he destroyed Joe in that like section of the reward challenge. He went way past him. I was like,
it was the first one through.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah,
I was he balance wise, every endurance, swimming. I was so surprised. He's not just physically is showing abs. He's actually like improved physically and athletically in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, he was not strong at all in David versus
No,
Goliath, and now
No,
he is. He hit the White Lotus gym all right. He is.
for
yeah,
real.
like I said, he's a gilf now.
Yeah.
He's trying to be like, all right, yeah, I can be like Colby, the old strong guy as well. And it's still like they even made it a point this episode to point out his abs. I think it was Camilla was like, look at him with his abs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna get like every episode they're gonna talk about his
It's
abs or
because
White Lotus. It's
every
just,
time he comes on screen, I literally yell in the bar, "Ripped Mike, ripped Mike." He's
Fair.
ripped, and,
Yeah.
and to see him in the challenges is really inspiring. Because do we know how old he is exactly
he's 54, 53.
on the dot for reals? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I saw him, and I was like, this is a new person. Whatever because he's obviously making more money now. He's
Mhm.
born 1970. He's obviously making more money now. So he definitely is probably paying for those Marvel trainers or something. I don't know. Maybe he
Yeah.
was like, I'm going back on Survivor. Let me go ahead and get a Marvel trainer. Like I'm very impressed.
Little Ozempic, so that way you know how to deal with the hunger and
Exactly.
everything as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying he does those.
No,
Yeah.
no, this is not.
No,
No,
Yeah.
this is not one of those sponsor ads either.
Yeah.
But no, I actually like his social game just as much as his physical game now. But his social game is interesting because he said it our first episode. He's like he's gonna chill out the first episode or the beginning. He's gonna like take it easy in the beginning, and I also think he's doing this thing where he's like gentle pushing, especially with Coach, and like he's. I think he is kind of rage baiting or leading people to making a possible mistake in the way they speak. I think he's playing a lot smarter than we think. But yes, Coach's whole dynamic with Jonathan. Why do you think Jonathan wants to work with Coach so bad? What do you think that's? I actually did not expect that.
I mean, I think he sees some Mike Turner also in Coach a little bit, kind of the older like leader kind of figure. Coach is very macho and bravado, and I think that Jonathan kind of sees himself in that. I also think there's a pretty big like loyalty group of people from some of the old scores, and I think Jonathan is also included. I think Joe is wanting to loop in with those people as well, and I think. I think Coach is definitely one of those people who's probably pre-gamed even with Jonathan.
They do seem a little bit like kindred souls. Like they put feathers in their hair, stuff like that, and they're like, you know what? And I feel like it's not just like when Coach was going out trying to like fish with him. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I can do what I can still rock with like Jonathan and like go out swimming and stuff. I think it was also like like them wanting to bro out and also bond as well.
Yeah.
I think there's that. And then, like I do know some people, I'm also can be one of these people where I do, gravitate to maybe some older people because they have some like wisdom and stuff like that. And it's just like, all right, yeah, you're like older and we just vibe well together. Interesting thing is that turns out that Charlie wants nothing to do with Chrissy. And is like, it seemed like there was a little bit where we didn't get too much content from the Callow tribe. I was thinking, wait, is Chrissy going home? Because like the two things we got from there were about Coach, and then, oh wait, hold up, like Dee doesn't like Chrissy, and then Charlie is like, I don't want to play the same game, and if I am, I don't think I would play it with Chrissy.
Yeah, I think Chrissy's toast. She's toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie definitely wanted to work with Chrissy at first because, like he said, he loves a good older woman kind of bond relationship thing. But he even said himself, like, he's realizing, and this is the thing about Charlie, he's really smart. He's really good and aware, and he can kind of foreshadow well, not foreshadow, but he can kind of foresee a lot of things and where the waves are pushing things. And he even said himself, like, it's starting to see like that it would, like all of Chrissy's actions is slowly drifting him away from her. It's not even necessarily that he doesn't want to. It's just, he's realizing it's not good for my game to be with her because of her actions and everything she's doing and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's really smart on Charlie's end. I think it's not a gift that everyone has that kind of foresight.
Mhm.
And I think he's right. And it's interesting because if you think about it, I don't know. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
When they announced the entire cast, the one person I was like, who is that? Was Chrissy.
Mhm.
And it happened on her season where it was who was it that won? What's his name? With the
Ben.
Ben.
Ben, the cowboy, right? Or kind of
Yeah.
like a cowboy. But um the reason I forgot her is I think it's just because they wanted. It seemed like there was a little controversy with that where they believe that Survivor was pushing for Ben to win, but even still, Chrissy didn't give me anything besides like congrats. She one of the few women to get 4 immunities or whatever. But
Mhm.
I don't remember. I can't. I remember Ben so well. I have no memory of Chrissy, and even this season, who are her alliances?
Mhm.
We haven't seen a confessional from her, right?
Yeah.
We
Have
did
we?
not. She's one of the goose eggs. We got two from
Yeah.
her last episode, and I
First
believe
episode?
one of them was about her wanting to target D for being a winner,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
I-
not
she, she
riveting.
she's been edited
No.
pretty bad. I mean, like literally, she had a conversation with Coach last episode where she was just like, "We just got to figure out any reason to vote people out." It's like you don't say that out loud. That's
No.
like something you keep to yourself,
Because then
and
someone
you,
said like, "Huh? Then why not you?" You know?
yeah, yeah. Well, if you're just willing to come up with any idea to vote someone out, it's like
Yeah.
that's not really someone you want to work with.
You're a wild
Yeah.
card by, and I think
Yeah.
one of the things at like Tribal Council that Christian really brought up was like, it's like when there's so much uncertainty and stuff in this game, it's like, having that like harmony, that safety is super important.
Mhm.
That like, like especially moving forward, because it's like so many things are going to be thrown at you. If you have people you can't rely on,
Mhm.
and I mean, this even harkens back to the very first vote. So, like the reason why even though, yes, they should have gotten rid of Suri. Um, if you were to base on like things and stuff like that, it makes sense to take out Suri.
Yeah.
However, Jenna was very much like, all right, she's throwing out names day one when we're supposed to be vibing and getting to know each other.
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
she's going after, the queen right then and there before we even lost a challenge. That's like some crazy energy we do not need right now.
Yeah.
And she got axed. And then same deal with this. We don't know where her head's at. Or like we don't know where her head's at. Um, and if it's like, oh, any reason's a good reason, then
Mhm.
well, if you have that mentality further down the line, what makes me likely to align with you? Because you're
Yeah.
like, I guess because Charlie he did so well last season, I guess like, might as well just do it. We might be both runner ups, but sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think typically, if you want to win Survivor, they'll usually have someone be like, "I like this person, and here's this reason," in like the first couple episodes. And so far we've only got to negatives, and even her conversation with Coach, we didn't get a confessional from Coach being like, "I like Chrissy, and here's
Oh.
why." It was kind of like Coach just being like, "Uh-huh, yep."
Coach probably sees Chrissy as irrelevant. And
Yeah.
I really think that's the truth. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm trying to remember her in challenges. She was a challenge beast in her own, season, but
Mhm. But
this season,
you got to
I
remember
just can't even remember
uh,
her.
on her season, she threw up on the first challenge, on the first immunity
Oh,
challenge. So
wow.
she was not good until later when it became like balances, and
Right.
that
Well, like
season had
dexterity, balance, that kind of
that
stuff.
season had a lot of the kind of like same kind of like skill set comps that really ended up benefiting her in those challenges,
Yeah.
but she's not great physically in like the
The group stuff,
yeah
the
the like
relay stuff. Yeah.
yeah the swim, bring things here to there, all that kind of
No,
stuff.
I know because
She even
I haven't
sat
seen it.
out this challenge,
Mhm.
this immunity challenge.
Yeah, which I actually was a little shocked. I thought it was going to be Camilla sitting out of the immunity, but
Camilla did the reward one though.
yeah, she said
Yeah, so
yeah.
That's why she
maybe
couldn't
they
do the
kind of discussed it that way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, not looking good for Chrissy here.
Chrissy.
I also want to point out in this challenge for immunity, Suri yet again put in the hero position and coming up
It fell
short.
through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming up
But it
short.
seemed like apparently it was Ozzy's fault this time around, the communication of it. But
It felt
still,
like it
that's
was a bit of a group effort with
Yeah,
Suri, Ozzy, and
because
Christian.
Christian was also apologizing and then seemed like he was also having trouble gauging like distance as well.
Hmm.
So I
also
feel like it group effort.
Yeah.
Christian was midway talking about you have to make sure you use the parallax. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to Ozzy. You think Ozzy knows what a parallax is? I don't even think
Yeah.
that's the term that he said.
It looked like
But
his brain was like computing. He was like, oh.
yes,
I would be
yeah,
like, calm the fuck down, Doc Brown.
yeah. Christian was speaking a different language to them, and that's a different one. We haven't
Mhm.
seen any full on puzzle endings yet.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we did get one, but that's the one where they couldn't even reach there yet. So Christian hasn't had a chance to shine much yet in his aspect of the puzzles because we
Mhm.
haven't seen much of the puzzle challenge. This was a balanced one and a team balanced one at that. So it's
Yeah.
even more
Well, the thing
pressure.
is, it was like there was the recreating the 50 logo at the end of the
Yeah,
very first challenge,
Yeah.
and that was his time to like show that.
But
But
they got way late. He went there way late. It
way
took
behind.
forever.
Way
Yeah.
yeah,
behind.
because the whole Suri thing with the monkey paw, or
Yeah.
the monkey fist,
Hmm.
where it just would not go in and stuff. And so it's like
Yeah.
there's only, like when you hit roadblocks like that, even if everyone else like locks in and does their thing, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if everyone else is doing
I don't know if you know Esteban,
decent.
but apparently Suri practiced that monkey paw. Like
I I heard it was because she did it in Australia.
she was practicing it before the season, but I guess how she had like her setup, the rope was in like was behind her,
Mm.
whereas in here it was like more in front of her when she had to do the throw,
Right.
and so that was messing up her
Yeah. But I think that's what they're. I think that's what I mean. It's not gonna matter because we're gonna tribe swap next. But
mhm.
that's what I think they realize is okay. Just don't give Sari those types of positions and we'll do fine.
Yeah.
But then she was kind of still back in that position again. It's
Well,
very interesting.
the thing is, it's like when you go into these challenges and you are able to sit someone out,
Yeah.
and we're not we've seen different like seasons deal with people who aren't good with like certain challenges and where do they put them. uh the thing is, if you've already lost and there's no sit out bench for you and you have to play, it's like, all right, there, no matter what, she has to play. And like the less people you have, and depending on how tribes are divided, like you might not have a good puzzle solver. You might not have someone who is as strong as like, Jonathan or Joe or Colby or Q. And
Mhm.
then it's like, all right, we don't really have any of the big muscly people. We don't even have like, Stephanie either. We're just kind of like, like if it's the nerdy bunch and then, it's like, ah, crap. Well, we can't do any of the like really, really physical stuff. Or if we do, it's going to take a lot longer than the other tribes. You know, it'd be like that. And then it's like, all right, where are we like faulting? And then like they do tend to go after the weakest link because it's like obvious obviously you want to have the numbers and you want to be loyal and you want to have your people. But if it's something where, oh, if we're losing time and time again,
Yeah.
then that person becomes a liability. And it's like you just don't want to be there anymore. And you have to make
Mhm.
that tough decision.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Exactly.
I think that's the big reason why Savannah went home and not Joe.
Mhm.
Because I think they really wanted Joe, but they were like, if we have to keep playing, they have no muscle left in
Yeah.
their squad, in their team. He's the only muscle of them all. Ozzy is athletic, can swim, he's fast, he's agile. But when it comes to like if you have to lift people or you got that big boulder, the thing
Yeah.
that Christian basically handled on his own on his season, not Christian, Jonathan handled on his own in his own season. Like I think that's the reason why Joe stuck around because Savannah's athletic, yeah, but they have athletic. They just don't have
Mhm.
Yeah,
muscle.
Yeah.
So I think that's
that's
the
a
main
good
reason
point.
why it was that instead of Savannah instead of Joe. So
You need someone to compete against Jonathan and even Q
exactly.
to some extent.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And RIP Kyle,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
So
But before we end up going to tribal council, we get this amazing plan from Rick Devens when he finds out about the boomerang idol and that Christian has the parchment still, and they decide to plant a fake idol. Like, it's not really a fake idol; it is, just like going to be kind of placed there at tribal council.
yeah.
My guess is at some point, if they ever feel they're in danger, they can just get up, kind of be like, haha, look at me, I got an idol, and then and then make people not vote for them. That's my
Yeah.
guess of how it's going to play out.
My question is because I was like, that is pretty ingenious. And I don't think,
Never been done before.
Yeah, it's great.
it hasn't been done before. And I don't think production is going to be like, no, don't leave this here. My thing is if they don't go to tribal council, let's say somehow Christian and Devons end up on the same tribe, they don't go to tribal council for a while. If someone else just finds it, what do they, what happens there?
Well, they're
Well,
going
does
to get
it
a
ruin
parchment.
someone else's game? And
Yeah.
that's the chaos of Devon's. Because in
Mhm.
his season, he planted so many fake idols, and he didn't know who was gonna find it or if anyone was gonna find it. And when they did, it was just magic and music to his ears. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's just
He,
extra chaos. He
he
doesn't
loves having
care.
fun.
He loves having fun, and that's why I
Mhm.
think him and Joe butt heads because and I think Christian is the perfect person for Devons because I think who really came up with the idea about leaving at tribal? Was it was it Christian or was it Devons? Who came up with the plan originally?
It was Devins. He was like, I've been having this idea. He probably has thought of this before he even went out on the island. He was like, if he ever got something,
Yeah.
I guarantee you that was
Yeah,
like his plan.
because no one's. I mean, like the only
Yeah.
things I can remember that kind of feel similar is when that I forgot her name. When that one contestant literally brought an immunity idol and made it melt at the fire with the wax, and the other one, this one I was rooting for. Remember, there was like I forgot which season it was. I think it was either early 40s or late 30s when someone saw a logo on Jeff's podium
Yeah.
that was the same
That
one
was
of
season
someone
40.
of
Yeah.
another
Adam
idol.
Klein.
I was rooting for him. I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of like that'd be cool if that was real.
Yeah.
I was really rooting for him if that happened because it was the exact same logo. So
Yeah.
why not? That would. I mean, I think production should have seen that and be like, huh, we should do that.
Yeah. I
But
thought it would definitely be like a thing in like seasons 41 or 42, because then
yeah,
it would have been like a very fun and interesting thing for it to then be like, it worked, and look at Adam Klein like changing the game
yeah.
there.
But to
Yeah.
now to do something at tribal
Mhm.
is so fun because that does bring the chaos of is it going to be our group next? If it is, we have an advantage with using that. Is it going to be someone else? Because it is, it's going to fuck up. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss on this podcast.
No, you
but
can.
It's
Oh, we
going to
cuss all the time.
it's gonna fuck up their confidence, their game, their hope, their morale. Like it's really gonna mess with their heads. And I hope production leaves it. I think production
They
will.
will.
They will. I don't
They-
think they would. I mean, we got a
yeah.
camera shot of it, so
They
like it's
Yeah.
clearly
wouldn't-
like they want to let us
Yeah.
know.
I agree.
They wouldn't have kept it in. They could have easily just cut around. They've cut it around some things that have surprised me before.
Mhm.
Some people having certain advantages. In 45, apparently there was a twist to the immunity challenge where the winning tribe gets to send one person over to the losing tribe to cast a vote, which you would not know that from the edit because it doesn't happen, mostly because the person who goes quits. But it's like they just completely edited around her name was Kendra just
Mhm.
being on the tribe for the last, like 30 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
And so like it's baffling to know like, oh, they just straight up just cut that out.
Yeah. So yeah, the fact that we definitely saw it means that they
We got a whole
plan,
Zoom. We got the performance of Christian falling.
and
It
they
was a whole
know
production.
they know like TV wise that if this gets a payoff, it's going to be awesome. So
Yeah.
they're going to want
Chekhov's
to.
gun.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was hilarious that Christian was the like
Distraction.
yeah, the distraction as he falls down and has everyone be like, oh,
I love this pairing so much. I
He,
want to see them on the
yes,
Amazing Race together. You know,
Yeah.
like I just
agreed.
they're perfect to their end. I'm already mourning the moment where they have to either backstab each other or people vote one of them out. I'm
Yeah.
already mourning the separation of this duo.
Yeah, I do think
I
that
do,
they are like we got to work together, but they don't want to sit at the end together. I don't think they want to sit at the end. I think they
Who will
want
win?
abs-
Who
yeah.
would win? You
Yeah.
know?
I think they're like let's get to maybe a final 8 to 6 somewhere around there
And
and
then
then
good luck, my friend. May the best
yeah.
man win, kind of thing.
Exactly.
I also find it ironic that this episode started with Christian shitting his pants, and it ended with him eating
Shitting
shit.
is yeah, eating shit
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, really cool.
Um
Love this episode. That was so fun to watch. It was like when Rick Devens was like, "Oh, this is like a Ocean Survivor 50." Watching it was like watching an Ocean's 11 scene.
mhm,
Just that whole interaction. How watching Rick Devens just go ahead and prepare in his bag, watching
mhm,
Christian stand up and fall, Rick Devens digging in there, like it was it was like watching a scene from Now You See Me or Now You Don't.
mhm,
So it was really
Yeah.
fun. We've never had that on Survivor. It's going to be one of those moments that people will talk about for a long time, especially hoping we have a good payout with it as well, because this was a great setup to whatever is going to happen to it.
yeah.
100% agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, anything else of the episode? I think we covered all of that stuff, right? So I can't think of
We
anything
did,
else.
yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah, I got
I
all my things to make. I just checked my list of everything I want to talk about. That's me too. I
yeah,
got
okay,
it.
perfect. So Esteban, we do something here where we go over confessionals, so that way we have confessional counts. Ryan, take away with the
Yes.
catchphrase.
We have it because we value screen time on this channel.
Mhm,
And it's also something it kind of gives us a peek into the narrative of the
mhm,
show because, like, it is telling a story. And who is telling the story gives us a big it gives us a big clue into the main characters of this season. And
mhm.
oh boy, did they make it clear with a few people
Yeah,
of like
absolutely.
who they are invested in.
Yeah. Esteban, I don't know if you've looked at confessional accounts to see where everything is. Who do you think is the confessional leader right now? Who do you think has had the most talk to the camera moments?
I think in episode 2, I'm gonna guess Devon's.
Devon's. What about overall, like including the premiere?
I wish I had like a picture, like
Mhm,
of all of them. I'm gonna say between. I'm not gonna lie. I keep seeing them over and over. Christian and Devon's.
mhm. Okay.
Um,
Well, it is
You're
not Chris.
close.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're up there,
yeah.
definitely. It is Ozzy who is currently the confessional leader at 21
Wow.
because episode 1 he got 19 confessionals,
Wow.
a huge amount. This episode only got 2, so it was definitely a fall off in there. Most confessionals this episode went to Christian. He had
Yeah.
10 confessionals this episode. Um, but Savannah, who went out here, had 11 confessionals. Just want to get
Wow.
that out there real quick. She had a huge premiere and then barely really seen on her boot episodes. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then so second right behind Ozzy is Christian at 17 confessionals, pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Next up, third most confessionals is Q.
Yes.
Q
What are
had a
your
lot
thoughts
more in the
on
first
Q?
episode.
Yeah, he's
He
he's
had a
at he's
ton.
at yeah he's at 13 confessionals. I mean,
Okay.
you gotta give Q like screen time if he's
Oh,
out
he's
there.
so fun. You know,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Christmas is
He was
canceled.
even he was even telling about, the entire plan for,
With Aubrey.
going into Aubrey's bag.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh and he was being funny about it too. And then like,
But
him joking around about like Rizzo not being a hard worker at all, or like
mhm,
how lazy Angelina is. It was
yeah.
like
yeah,
he
yeah,
he's having fun.
yeah. So good up there. Next up, we do have Devins at 11 confessionals. So pretty good there. Next we have a tie between Coach and Genevieve at 10
Oh,
confessionals.
okay.
So pretty good there. I mean, I definitely, see that they're definitely trying to be portrayed as that feels like main characters of the season. So
Agreed.
The
makes
Aussie
sense.
one, I get it though.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's necessarily main character, but I think I like he's gonna have more because
Yeah.
he went on that chat. He went on that what do you call it? Not challenge. He went on that
Journey.
Journey.
journey. He went on the journey. He got 2 extra votes and he got an idol.
Hmm.
Like there was a time where Ozzy, by advantage sake, was the most powerful player at one point. So I get why, especially the first episode, he had so many confessionals. So
Hmm.
I'm interested to see. I have a feeling that's going to change in the next couple episodes because the first episode
Hmm.
was just it was the Ozzy show. That first episode.
Yeah, I think he was definitely going to come down. I mean, he in his premiere, he got over twice as many confessionals as when he was in Game Changers,
Yeah,
and
wow,
in Game Changers, he was the second jury member. So,
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah. Okay. Next up, right after Coach and Genevieve, we got Joe at 9 confessionals.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
He is a favorite, and then he had a lot of things to say about in this episode specifically.
Yes,
Hmm.
yeah,
Um, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
in this Orange Tribe has gone twice to tribal council. Usually
Hmm.
that gives a few more confessionals to people as well.
Yeah.
Um, and seeing how he was one of the people talked about going home, yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes
Makes
sense that he got
sense.
5 this episode.
Quick sidebar before you go on to the next confessionals. That's one thing I wanted. Actually, I forgot that is one thing I wanted to talk
Hmm.
about because I realized in the 40s, the first team that lost immunity ended up being the one that lost basically back to back to back until it
Yeah.
merged. I really thought now, especially with the reward challenge, I really thought that Cerise team was not going to lose again.
Hmm.
I'm very surprised they did lose again, the
Yeah.
immunity. So my question to y'all is, do you think we're going to see that pattern again?
It's possible. I
Well,
think the way that also like them taking Flint or any of that stuff and like the just repetitive just losing, it can
Yeah.
get into your mind. And if
it,
you take out anyone who's strong at all, also it can just be like a downhill trend.
Oh, but then
not
again,
only that,
there's a dropping buff, so never mind about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I will say because it could happen. We don't know how long we are in tribes like this, but
Mhm.
there's also a thing about you have to think of home life as well.
Mhm.
Or like camp life. What could have been done by, 8 different people now has to be done by 7 people or
Yeah.
6 people.
Yeah.
The work that needs to be done around camp doesn't go away. It
Mhm.
just has to be divided more. And so you're
Mhm.
having to take more chores and more effort
Yeah.
when you already don't have fire, the luxury that all the other 2 tribes have.
Mhm.
So it just kind of like things kind of like stack up on you, and then you're just kind of like beaten down. It's like, well, it's hard to make headway when you're just trying to, scrape by.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so back to confessionals here. Next up, we got a tie between Suri and Mike at 8
I knew it.
confessionals.
I knew it was
Yeah,
Mike. Okay.
yeah. They love Mike White. I mean, makes
Yes.
sense. White Lotus, like
Mhm.
they're gonna squeeze as much Mike White as they can out of the season. Like,
And I think it's smart of them too. But I also do think Mike is playing a very
yeah.
comedically fun and smart game at the same time.
Yeah, he's definitely like there for the entertainment more so
Mhm.
than I think like just playing a cutthroat like game.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he just wants to have fun.
I think he is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly, and you gotta love that. You gotta have both. You gotta have people who are out there backstabbing and betraying, and then you also gotta have people who are just like, I'm gonna tell some really funny confessionals right
I
here.
hope we get drunk Mike again. That's what I'm
Yeah,
really rooting for.
I love that. I would love that.
Possible.
Yes. Okay, next up we got Aubrey at 7 confessionals. So a little bit low there for Aubrey.
I think most
Next,
of them were today, huh?
yeah, she got 4 confessionals
Yeah.
in this episode.
Yeah.
So it is a better episode than her
Yeah.
premiere.
Yeah.
but still like not the greatest. Next up, it looks like we got a pretty good tie here between Colby, Stephanie, and Jonathan at 6 confessionals. It is to note that Stephanie got 0 confessionals.
Today.
Yes.
It is sad.
Typically in New Era, if you get a goose egg in an episode, that means you cannot win the game. There has not been any winner in New Era who has won with 0 confessionals in an episode.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
so and there's a
Well,
quite
I
a
mean, like it makes sense because
yeah.
they want to make sure that their winner is earned and seen. Like hell,
Yeah.
that 41 their winner Erica was very under edited,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are like, what the hell happened here? She came out of nowhere.
And
Yeah,
they changed the winning edit after that. They were like, we can't just like have a winner that we barely see.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next up we got I think we're down to
Emily. I'm gonna guess
yeah.
Emily.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, we're at
Yeah.
Emily at 4 confessionals. She's gotten 2 both episodes. So
Okay.
she's like
Same as
being
Rizzo.
seen. Yeah, she's being seen. Oh yeah, Rizzo as well at 4. Yeah, so they're like both being seen,
I'm
but
surprised
not.
Rizzo is so low. I'm not gonna lie. He seems like someone who has a lot to say always.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting alone right there.
Yeah,
I will
that's
say the confessional, because it's also like, what are they talking about too?
mhm.
Rizzo had an interesting confessional in this game or in this episode where it did stuck out to me, and I guess I bring it in here, where he's like, oh, hey, because he's being brought in and stuff, he's like, oh, I'm starting to feel like I have some power in this game where I was once going to probably be the easy boot. Now I'm someone where I might be holding shit together, and
Mhm.
might be at the top.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and then next up we got Angelina at 3, we got Charlie at 3, and also to note, Angelina got a goose egg. Yet again, no screen time for Angelina this episode.
Yeah.
Um, and then next up we got some 2s here. We got Chrissy at 2, and we got
Yep.
Camilla at 2. Both of them goose egg this episode.
He also got to.
And D, yeah, D.
Yeah, we're not getting a lot of D for sure. Maybe the first
Yeah,
episode, there was some.
there wasn't.
But
There was 1 confessional
No,
from D, and then 1 confessional this episode from D.
wow, very weird. Okay,
Yeah.
is that who's the lowest?
We got Tiffany at 1 confessional, who had 1 in the premiere and 0 in this episode.
That's crazy because her season she had so many. She was like
yeah.
everyone talked about, like she was always talking in her season. That's
Yeah.
so interesting. That she
Yeah,
only had
I
one.
mean, from like the fan perception going into the season, she was the least like excited person that was on the cast, and like the fans kind of let Survivor know about that she was kind of
Really?
the WTF
I like
pick.
Tiff. I like
Yeah,
Tiff.
I think she's good too, but I think she was brought on the season to hopefully have interactions with Q at some point.
And we're not even on the
Which
same tribe right
could
now.
happen.
Yeah, it could happen. So yeah, she still needs to get out of the 1 confessional.
Do you remember what her one
It's
confessional
very
even
sad.
said?
It was like, I want to work with the strong women of like the Camilla and D. Like it was like she wants to work with them, and that was like it.
I haven't even seen them
Yeah.
talk yet, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
It was a very quick scene. Also, I will say that this tribe, the Callow tribe, is, unless you're Coach or Mike White or Jonathan Orr, you don't really see a whole lot of screen time from them. I'm just kind of like looking at because they have it
Yeah.
conveniently color coded for
I'm not
us. It's like,
surprised about Charlie. I feel like Charlie he did this last season too. I think Charlie likes to play the early round very relaxed,
Yeah.
chill, and making sure there's no target on him.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by him. I feel like the later we go, we're gonna see a lot more confessionals, just like what happened in his season. I think he has a very
Mhm.
unique style. It's not the same style I would play if I did Survivor, but I really do think he has a great strategy when he plays Survivor. And is
Mhm.
it the flashiest? No, but it's it works, I think.
Mhm.
So I'm not surprised, but from that tribe, because that's the same tribe with Jonathan and Coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting, all these statistics. I'm actually very surprised by a couple of the ones that are a little lower. But I guess that's what it is. It's
Mhm.
hard when you have such a stacked, iconic, all-star cast.
Yeah, it's the
So
biggest cast that Survivor has ever seen.
yeah,
Even with 90 minutes. I mean, and then there's just some people who like you want to see on the screen a lot, like your
yeah,
Christians, Devins, Qs, coaches. There's
Yeah.
just some people who just need to be seen like all the time.
yeah, really
All
cool. I'm really
right.
looking forward to this season.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
it's gonna
not
be great.
quite done with the episode. We have a tradition as well, MVP and LVP of this episode. We'll start up. Do we want to start off negative or do you want to start off positive?
Let's start off positive. I think, right? It's
Does
All
this have
right,
to do
yeah.
with challenges or social game or like all overall?
yeah.
Whoever you think is the MVP of the episode, whatever your criteria is, and
Mm,
if you want to even go further, it was like, oh, I think they're even solid through the rest of the game too. That also
okay.
plays a factor.
Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
And this is all my decision, or are we talking about together?
Yeah, we can all talk. If
We'll
you
each do one.
Yeah, if you want, I can start it. You can
Yeah,
start it.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for MVP, I'm going to give it to Devins. I think
That's fair.
he's in control with Christian.
Mm,
Him coming up with the idea to plant that idol. I mean, I'm going to be so excited every week to see if something with that happens. It's going to
yeah.
be so much fun. And yeah, I think he's in a very good spot here. I'm scared a little bit for a swap because he is in a very controlling position there. Might
Yeah.
be changed.
Kind of hate that there's a swap next episode. It's
Yeah,
too early, I feel.
yeah,
Does seem a little it does seem a little soon, especially since there has been so much like established for two at least two of these tribes. There's so much established content for two of them.
yeah.
Callow is just kind of like just being Callow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So definitely scared for him in that regard. But I think just like this episode alone, I loved everything I got from Devins.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Christian because
There.
one, he's a big support. I'm a big supporting actor kind of rooter. I think sometimes the best actors are the supporting actors. So if
Mhm.
you put that in the equivalence of Survivor, I think Christian's a huge, great support. That scene with him like maliciously kind of behind Joe underneath the hammock was cinema.
Yeah.
Even him
Yeah.
falling was cinema. And on top of that, Devins is great, but I think the reason why I'm choosing Christian over Devins is because Christian has now made a move that
Mhm.
is affecting his relationship with people in different tribes. Where
Mhm.
Devin has
Yeah.
only done
Yeah.
things with his tribe.
Fair.
Christian doing the boomerang thing with Aubrey, I think it's a big play for him. And the fact that he was a part of one of the bigger swinging the vote from Joe to Savannah, I think, I give it more towards Christian because of those reasons over Devin. That's my MVP.
Yeah. I have to agree with Esteban. I think
Mhm.
Christian he's in a good thing. And the thing is, Devins is a good chaos shield for
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christian,
And I love me
where
some
it's like
chaos.
me too.
you do.
Me too. I love it.
So it's like they're always going to look for because both of them are strategic. Both of them
Mhm.
know they're strategic. It's like there was the quote that I wanted to say from last episode that I forgot about. It's like this is Survivor is like prison, and this is not Gen Pop. This is death row. To get to Survivor 50, you did some shit in order to
Mhm.
be here, and these two really did some shit to be here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
However, it's like Christian is like someone where it's like, oh, like the thing is, Devin is a wild card. And that's the one that would scare more people, where Christian is like, oh, yeah, we can totally work with you. And I want to, I want you to help me with the strategies and stuff. And then you use you as like a brain shield,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
Um,
The way I
but yeah,
see
I
it
think he's,
is like to piggyback off what you just said. I think the best way to differentiate them is Devins is the mad scientist. He's a mad scientist, where
yes.
Christian is kind of like Einstein, who's goofy,
Mhm.
but he's
Mhm.
a scientist. He's not crazy, you
Uh-huh.
know. So I think that's the way I see both of them: is mad scientist and just goofy scientist.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice.
all right, LVP. Let's do this in reverse order. I
Okay.
feel the LVP of this episode has to be Christian's underwear.
It
Whoa,
took a big
yeah,
L this episode.
definitely
But no, no,
big.
no. In seriousness, I do feel like it is Joe because he just got when people are describing as like, okay, we have to kind of just play around you and stuff like
Yeah,
that. The edit was like very bad for him this time around.
yeah,
Unless he gets like a humbling, like kind of like humbled next episode where he's like, you know what? Yeah, that's on me. You're right.
yeah.
Um, I was just like, yeah, I feel like his stock just went super down here.
It's tricky. I think Joe has more redemption possibilities. So I'm gonna give my LVP to Chrissy. I think Chrissy's seems to be making. I mean, here's the thing. I would say Aubrey because one, the challenge was that was a big L in that challenge, and but also on top of that, she got the redemption with having the idol. So that idol just
Mhm.
bumps her up with power. So I would probably say Chrissy. The fact that the tribe is awkward with her, the fact that she was being talked about. I think if that tribe goes out next turn, and I mean, I don't even remember. Did she even have a confessional this episode?
She didn't. Nope.
So she was talked about a lot, and she didn't even get a confessional this episode.
Hmm.
That's a big L. Like you didn't even get a chance to like prove the edit wrong. You know,
Yeah.
she didn't even get a chance to defend herself by having a redeemable, talking head, confessional. So I would give it to Chrissy on the LVP there.
Yeah, I think those are definitely like the two main options. I think that like an honorable you could maybe actually I mean, I loved his entertainment value, but Q for telling Rizzo, I do think is a little scary. Not giving him the LVP here.
Yeah,
I do think it's got to go to Joe just because I think he had potential winner quality, and then this episode happened, and now I'm like out on him.
yeah.
Chrissy, I was out on last episodes. This episode was the real kind of like, okay, well, there goes Joe's chance to really
He
win this game.
he kind of pulled a little bit of a agenda by making the wrong type of enemy.
Yeah.
Devins has
Yeah.
way too many people on his side,
Mhm.
and Devins wants Joe out, and I
Yeah.
think he's very powerful and capable of getting him out.
Yeah.
So I think you guys. I'm gonna stick with Chrissy, but I think you guys are
Yeah.
actually right. I think you
Yeah.
guys are the right ones by saying
Mhm.
it's
Well, I mean,
Joe
it's
because
uh,
he's messed up his entire play for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's the thing. It's all perspective on like who's playing the worst game right now. Now, granted,
Mhm.
we're like people that straight up undeniably because yeah, you could say that Aubrey is the worst because, she seems to be going nowhere on her tribe. We haven't gotten good content. And you could even say, well, Christian gave her the idol, mostly because he's hoping she gets voted out with it. Like usually for LVP, like sometimes Joe and I completely disagree on who the LVP is, or even
Yeah.
MVP. It'll be like, really, you think they did that well? It's just all it's
Yeah,
all relative.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say there's a wrong answer, really.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes someone will just do good in a challenge, and someone will give them the MVP, but like they suck socially, and it's like, well, they won the challenge, and that was necessary for so it makes sense. But yeah, I do think like Joe is just at least with that tribe was just not he does not
yeah.
play the way that tribe
And
is going to be playing.
and from what I saw from the preview of the next episode,
Mhm.
he seemed confrontational in that tribe too.
Yeah,
So
I
I don't know
mean,
if it's gonna,
he
you
he
know,
he burned jury votes on his season by doing some of the same things with like Mary.
yeah,
Like so that is kind of his personality is like he gets his group, and then once he has his group, like that's it. Like
that's it.
that's all the strategy he needs.
And then what's your resume if you end up to the top three? The final three.
He doesn't
So
care. He if he gets the end with
Exactly.
his friends, I think he's like, hey, one of my friends is going to win the game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
Which
we'll
is
see.
great and all, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you want to win.
Yeah. He doesn't have that like killer instinct to
No,
like try to win the game.
not at all.
He lacks it, which every winner needs. Even the wins that aren't like good winners like have to have done something at one time.
You'd think he'd learn from the
Yeah.
last season. He's one of the. I think that's the problem. I think he's one of the least adaptable players. A
Mhm.
lap, LAP. Because I don't think he's adapted from his season. Where Colby, he
Mhm.
has. Ozzy has. Like all these older players, they've all adapted from the new changes of what Survivor is today compared to when they first played.
Yeah.
And Joe is one of the most recent ones. He still hasn't adapted from his gameplay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely lower end there because if you don't see a change in his gameplay, you're not gonna make it, bro. You're gonna be predictable. You're gonna end up being one of
Yeah.
the earlier ones out.
Yeah, and I know he keeps
Yeah.
talking about like feeling like he's been duped by Kyle and Camille, but after the season, he literally was like, "I'm happy with the game I played." Like he clearly was like happy how everything turned out, even with a third place victory. So I think,
You still made it to the end
yeah,
with two of your allies, and you also played a pretty dominant game.
yeah. So
It's
he,
just that was like one thing that kind of was like against you in that, and then the
mhm,
Shaheen vote. But I don't think Joe was going to the end with
yeah.
Shaheen regardless.
Yeah, I think some of the best players have one outing where they have like kind of not a great performance. So that way, then the next time they kind of have like the scales of like what went wrong with those games. Because sometimes when
They
you
learn their
just
weakest.
so,
They learn their weaknesses.
yeah, sometimes on that outing where you go very far, you don't realize the mistakes as you make them, because it just kind of worked out for you and you don't have to
Yeah,
worry about it. It's like if you, I mean, I know Esteban here plays League of Legends. It's like if you make a good play and then suddenly you're like, oh, that's great, but it wasn't actually a great play. It just happened to work out because some other X factor that you
yeah,
weren't even considering ended up playing into factor.
exactly.
So yeah.
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 Okay, well, that does it here, Esteban. Thank you so much for coming. Do you have anything you want to plug, promote, any of your socials, any of that stuff? Go ahead and do it now.
Sure. Let's see. I'm an actor. I have some plans of what I would do if I were to join Survivor. I don't know if I'd ever. I don't know if I should say it, but yeah.
The odds
Anyways,
of you playing with one of the people that see this right now,
Yeah.
well, not improbable, not impossible,
mhm.
maybe improbable. You never know. Emily Flippin has told me she has watched this channel
Oh
before. She
really?
Yeah.
recognized me from this. Yeah.
That's
It
Yeah.
was
crazy.
more of
That's
a
cool.
curiosity, but yeah.
Hmm.
Because you hear all the time on Survivor, like people like Tony, right? How he's a cop and how he uses his career and to be able to do Survivor. A lot of people do. A lot of people are like lawyers or whatever, that kind of stuff. And the one thing I've never seen do, I mean, we had Tevin, I
Evan.
believe
Hmm.
he's an actor, but I don't really think he acted. I don't think he used that much of his career in this. And
Hmm.
me being an actor, I'm definitely a character actor and I can change a lot of things. I've thought about this. The reason I'm stuck on why I would do it is this is one, I would completely change my voice, my speech, my whole history, my name, everything completely. And then and I'm still stuck if I would do this now, but maybe in the confessionals, America would know me,
Hmm.
but in the game, they would know the character I made, and I would even make sure that my character is a little unlikable but likable at the same time. That way, it's a little harder for people to be like, I don't think they'll win, like.
You're trying
And
to do
then,
like a Kaiser Soze type of deal of like
oh,
surprise at the end.
if I go to the top three and I just completely go, hey, this is me. And they're like, whoa, your voice is different. Whoa, you're carrying your body different. It'd be exhausting though. 20 plus days being a completely different person, not slipping up. It'd be a challenge. And I think
Uh-huh.
that's why it would be a huge win
Hmm.
for tribal. But then I thought I also know that I'm very good at adaptive awareness. I was a
Hmm.
social butterfly in high school. I'm able to get along with everyone. People say that I'm kind of a capybara. You know what a
Hmm.
capybara is? They kind of mess with
Yes.
every social animal. So
Yeah.
um, I think what I would want to do is I want to do that first season, and then second season I just like if I get brought back, I would just be me,
Mm-hmm.
and I would play towards that a little more social, like
Mm-hmm.
likable game, but not in front of people. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be clear to anyone in front of everyone else. I would just
Mm-hmm.
find my private moments where I would be more, of a listener, a caring person, that kind of stuff. When I'm not much of a caring,
Yeah.
if I stab you in the back, I'm gonna stab you in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck on, that like what kind of strategy I would do, and I think that would be unique for TV. I just don't know if it'd be good for me winning.
Yeah, I
You
was
know?
gonna say, I think like you are such a likable person, Esteban, that I would want to see you
Mhm.
playing the game and
Yeah.
Yeah.
not whatever character that you come in because I know
But
that you,
that's what I would do in this. That's like the
yeah,
opportunity is like, what if I get asked back? That would be fun.
yeah.
You know?
I
Um,
almost I'd almost rather you just like have characters that you're doing out there, but like you're also still Esteban to
Yeah, in
everyone.
a way,
Like,
that'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But if you want to follow along with my acting journey, I have been on several shows like Suits, Never Have I
Mhm.
Ever. Recently, Chad Powers. I got an episode of Criminal Minds coming out this year. I filmed 3 movies past year, so I'm gonna be working with if anyone's ever seen Teen Wolf, there's an actor named Dylan Sprayberry that I'm one of the leads with in this movie, and it was also written by the creator of Leon the Professional, Fifth Element, and Taken. His name is Luc Besson. So I did that film, and then Luc Besson, his company, brought me back for another film, which I get to film with Al Pacino this past October in Paris. So I have a great fun scene with Al Pacino. I got another movie with a Jamie Foxx produced film. I got to work with Courtney B. Vance and Marseille Martin, which was a great thing. So I got some movies coming out in the future. Criminal Minds episode coming out. If you want to see my stuff, you Google me, and then you can.
Mhm.
I've
He
been on some
also
TV shows and
shaved
stuff.
chicken in the back of his head.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's not the first time I had to cut my hair for a role. That other movie, the other movie I was talking about with Dylan Sprayberry, they shaved our head like every 2 days. So that's fun. And then 4 months later, I'm like, oh, I have to cut my hair for this. All right, been there, done that. But yes, for a Chick-fil-A commercial, you've probably seen if you watch TV, they shaved chicken in the back of my head for a Chick-fil-A commercial, and you'll see it if you watch enough TV. It's out right now, running a lot.
Look it up.
I've never seen it, and I'm looking out for it, but I think my ads are purposefully trying not to show me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've gotten what was it? Your a McDonald's ad that you were in. I remember
Yeah,
seeing that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like a weird instance where I was even watching with my mom and it came on TV and I was just like, I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
Um,
fun when it happens where I was like, oh yeah, I worked with him. Or oh yeah, he was in my acting for camera class.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's right. We had that class together. That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you want to follow me on socials, it's just my first and last name on everything. Esteban Dager, Instagram, TikTok. I even do Twitch. I've been a little bit on a hiatus of Twitch. I'm trying to enjoy my life right now and
Mhm.
not point a camera at everything I do. But I will be going back to streaming on Twitch again real soon. So if you're interested in that, follow along.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Espan, for coming
Thank
on and
y'all.
talking about Survivor
Thank
here.
you.
This was so much fun. I enjoyed
Yeah.
every bit of this podcast here. And with that being said, we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.
Bye bye.